Alright, we will now move on to questions in section B. So take some time to study this diagram here. Alright, this chapter that we have here is on light. So let's look at the flowchart and answer the questions. So over here we have a flowchart. It starts off with a question, does it cast a shadow? If it does not cast a shadow, it will go to card A. If it casts a shadow, it goes to the next question. So the next question is, does it block all light? If it does not block light or does not block all light, it goes to card B. And if it blocks all light, it goes to card C. So they ask, based on the chart above, which card is made of opaque object? So over here, we are looking for objects that are opaque. So in order to be opaque, it should be able to cast a shadow and it should allow all light to be blocked. So if we look carefully, does it cast a shadow? Opaque objects should cast shadow, hence we should move in the yes path. And when we reach the next question, does it block all light? Opaque materials do block all light, so it should move on to the yes path to go to card C. So therefore, for this question here, the answer should be card C is an opaque object. So let's look back at the question again to see what is the material of or what is the properties of the other cards. So card B, it casts a shadow, yes, so it does block light, but it does not block all the light. So hence, B should be a translucent object, or it does not allow all light to pass through. So hence, it allows some light to pass through. A over here, since it does not cast a shadow, it is not able to block any light. So since it does not block any light, it should be a clear or transparent object. So I'm going to write it down here for us to reference and use it for the question next. So A should be clear, B should be translucent or allow sunlight to pass through, and C should be opaque. Alright, so this one here is going to help us answer the question for the next part. So take some time to read the next part. Alright, so what happens is we want to cast a shadow in this diagram here. We want to cast a shadow such that a dark shadow will, the dark shadow of the pencil will be cast on the second card. So we only want the second card to have the shadow, and it should be the dark shadow. So because this is the second card, what happens is in order for a shadow to be casted here, this material has to be an opaque object like a screen. So because this has to be an opaque object, the opaque card is card C, hence the second card has to be C. So in order to allow the shadow to pass through the first card and be casted clearly and as a dark shadow on the second card, this first card here should be a clear transparent object, allowing most light to pass through so that the shadow formed by the pencil can be clearly projected on the second card. So since the clear card is card A, the first one should be A. And that naturally leaves us as B as the